When the sun begins to set on the horizon of our lives, it doesn't mean the light is fading. It means the colors are about to become more beautiful than ever before. The final years of life are not a time of weakness. They are a time of wisdom, of reflection, of peace, and of impact. We are not defined by the number of breaths we take, but by the number of lives we touch. And in the final chapters of our journey, we finally understand what truly matters. We begin to shed the burdens of pride, ego, and unnecessary obligations. We begin to recognize that the most precious currency is time, and the most valuable asset is presence. Not things, not titles, but presence, being there, truly there in the moment, with those we love, with ourselves, and with the world around us. The final years can be golden, not by accident, but by intention and design. They can be filled with laughter, learning, contribution, and clarity, but to make them golden, we must unlearn what society has taught us about aging. Aging is not decay, it's evolution, it's the refining of the soul, it's the sharpening of inner vision. The final years are the reward for all the battles fought, for the nights we thought we wouldn't survive, for the dreams we dared to chase, even when others said we were foolish. These years are not the end, they are the arrival, the summit, the panoramic view of everything we've lived through and still get to enjoy. Yet so many enter this phase with fear, regret, and sadness. Not because they must, but because they haven't been shown another way. It's time to change that. It's time to reframe aging, not as a problem, but as a privilege. Every gray hair is a medal of experience. Every wrinkle a line in your book of wisdom. Every ache a reminder that you've carried weight most would have dropped long ago. Now is the time to honor yourself, to speak gently to your heart, to nourish your body with movement and rest, to free your mind from the clutter of past mistakes and future worries. Now is the time to build your legacy, not by what you leave behind, but by how you make others feel right now. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every moment of presence is a brick in the house of your lasting influence. Golden years are not found. They are made, and they are made by living deliberately, by forgiving often, by loving hard, and by holding gratitude like it's oxygen, because it is. Gratitude is what turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's what takes a simple morning walk and turns it into a spiritual experience. What transforms a cup of tea with an old friend into a sacred ritual. The golden years come alive when we stop counting days and start making days count. When we give without needing anything in return. When we learn that letting go is not weakness, but strength. When we embrace stillness as power and silence as music. When we finally realize that peace is not a place we find, it's a state we create. The final years are golden when we live in alignment with our truth, when we stop pretending to be what we're not and start showing the world who we truly are, unapologetically, authentically, joyfully. When we share our stories, not to impress, but to inspire. When we pass on our lessons, not to lecture, but to liberate others from the mistakes we made. When we invest our time not in worry or resentment, but in wonder, curiosity, and compassion. The final years become golden when we see each day as a canvas and each choice as a brushstroke. And we begin to paint with colors we never dared to before forgiveness becomes brighter, empathy, deeper laughter, more real. The golden years do not mean slowing down, they mean waking up to beauty, waking up to connection, waking up to legacy and meaning and purpose, waking up to the reality that we don't have to chase anything anymore, because everything we need is already within us. We begin to give up the chase for perfection and fall in love with what is the imperfections. The messiness, the realness. The golden years are golden when we become students of life again, when we return to curiosity, when we ask more than we answer, listen more than we speak, and appreciate more than we analyze, when we stop asking what's wrong and start noticing what's right, when we marvel at the ordinary and let it break our hearts open with awe. The final years glow with golden light when we show up every day, not to prove, but to appreciate, not to acquire, but to admire, when we find joy in simplicity and peace and surrender, when we learn that we don't have to do anything to be worthy. We simply are. The golden years begin the moment we say yes to life, as it is, not as it was or as we wish it to be, but as it is, messy, beautiful, unpredictable, sacred, when we accept with grace. Forgive with ease and love with abandon. We find ourselves in a freedom we never knew existed. It's not about retiring from the world, it's about re-entering it with fresh eyes, with a full heart, with a steady soul. It's about mentoring, not managing, listening, not controlling, showing up, not shutting down, being the elder, not the boss being the guide, not the critic. The final years are the gift we receive for walking through fire and rain. They are the time to sit under the tree of life and offer shade to those still climbing. They are a celebration, not a conclusion. A time to write poetry, not just memoirs to dance. Not just remember to laugh until you cry and cry until you heal. They are a time to speak your truth, not to argue, but to liberate your voice. They are a time to bless more and complain less, to build bridges, not walls, to ask for help without shame and offer it without pride, to accept the love that was always there. But we were too busy to see the golden years come when we release our grip on control and trust that we are being held by something greater. When we look in the mirror and see not the lines but the light, not the age but the aliveness, when we realize we are not less, we are more grounded, more focused, more soulful, more clear. The final years are golden when we choose to make them. So when we rise each morning with the quiet courage to say, I am still here and I still matter, and I will live this day with all the love I have in me, the path to a golden final chapter is paved with intention and presence, with humility and courage, with curiosity and contribution. It is not about how long we live, but how deeply we live, how honestly, how kindly, how courageously. Because in the end, we are remembered not by the wealth we accumulated, but by the warmth we gave, not by the goals we crushed, but by the hearts we touched. Not by what we finished, but by how we showed up. The final years are golden because they are pure, unfiltered, stripped of pretense and distraction. They are the clearest mirror we will ever face, and the greatest opportunity we will ever have to love more, live more, and become more ourselves than ever before. They are golden because they are real, because they are now, because they are ours. And so as we step deeper into these sacred years, we begin to feel the layers fall away, the layers of expectation, the weight of past identity, the need to perform, to please, to prove. We return not to who we were, but to who we've always been beneath it all. A soul yearning for peace, for connection, for truth. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to expand, to stretch our hearts beyond the borders of old fears, to smile not because everything is perfect, but because we've finally made peace with the imperfection. These years are golden, because we've earned the right to let go of anything that no longer serves us. No more pretending, no more noise, no more masks. We walk into our truth with open arms, and the people who remain, those are the ones who love the real us. The final years are the refining fire of the spirit. We are no longer chasing time. We are embracing it. We are no longer climbing. We are surveying. We are no longer distracted. We are present to the small miracles, to the quiet beauty, to the symphony of breath and stillness. We begin to see that we are not aging. We are awakening to a love that doesn't need conditions, to a gratitude that doesn't wait for reasons, to a freedom that doesn't rely on youth or strength or ambition, but arises from stillness. From knowing, from presence, we start to understand that what makes life beautiful is not how much we accomplish, but how much we appreciate the sunrise, the smile, the softness of a quiet moment. The golden years are golden because we finally listen to the wisdom within the voice that always whispered, "You are enough." That voice now sings, and we hear it clearly. We listen not just to others, but to ourselves, to our bodies, to our dreams. We rest not from laziness, but from reverence. We speak not from ego, but from love. We walk not to arrive, but to be. We recognize that happiness was never somewhere else. It was always waiting within us. The final years are the ultimate homecoming, not to a place, but to a self, a return to essence, to soul. We become more real, more raw, more radiant. We know now that crying is not weakness, it is worship, that silence is not emptiness, it is space for sacred truths, that vulnerability is not exposure, it is the birthplace of courage. The golden years are a dance with divinity. Every step a prayer, every glance a benediction, every touch an act of healing. We don't just age, we evolve, we soften, we deepen, we bloom. We realize the importance of legacy, not just in money or name, but in the energy we leave behind, the joy. We spread the hope, we ignite the kindness, we gift without expecting anything back. The final years become golden when we see time not as a thief, but as a teacher, not as a countdown, but as a canvas each day, a chance to create something beautiful, something honest, something healing. We stop rushing, we start savoring, we stop judging, we start blessing, we stop regretting. We start honoring the golden years are golden when we forgive the unforgivable. Not for them, but for us when we release the stories that once caged us and write new ones with ink made of love and wisdom. When we understand that peace isn't found in answers, but in trust, that purpose isn't found in doing, but in being, we begin to bless the broken places because they let the light in. We embrace the cracks because that's where we shine through the brightest. We realize that no time is wasted if it brought us here to this awareness, to this freedom, to this love. We begin to speak not louder, but truer, not more, but deeper. Every word a seed, every silence a soil we cultivate, presence like a garden, and everything grows from there. The final years glow when we decide to be fully alive, when we love without holding back, when we risk our hearts not for outcomes, but for the joy of expressing who we are. We laugh harder because we know sorrow. We love deeper because we've lost. We appreciate more because we've lived the golden years are golden. Because they are seasoned, they are marinated in memory, steeped in stories, seasoned with grace, and baked in the fire of resilience. We begin to serve not from duty, but from joy, to mentor, not to correct, but to uplift, to share, not to impress, but to connect. We find new purpose, not in chasing dreams, but in guiding others to theirs and being the light for someone still walking through their night. The final years are not dim. They are luminous because we become the lantern, not the firework. We become the anchor, not the wave. We become the melody, not the noise. We no longer ask how much time is left. We ask, how much love can I give? How much beauty can I witness? How many lives can I touch before I go? We stop fearing the end and start celebrating the now because we realize that presence is eternal. Every act of love is immortal. Every memory we craft with care lives far beyond us. The golden years are golden because we become intentional. We curate our lives like sacred art, choosing only what aligns, what heals, what honors. We stop caring what isn't ours. We let others walk their path while we walk ours with grace, with courage, with calm. We understand that not everything needs fixing. Some things just need loving. Not everything needs answers. Some things need understanding. Not everything needs to last. Some things are beautiful because they end. We become free, not by escaping life, but by embracing it, by holding both joy and sorrow in the same breath, and saying, yes, this too is life, and it is beautiful. We begin to see beauty where others see decay, potential, where others see limitation, opportunity, where others see finality. We become the ones who smile first, who forgive fast, who speak slow and hug long. Because we know time is precious, we know moments are sacred, we know people are gifts. The golden years are golden when we become a blessing, not a burden, when we give more than we take, love more than we judge and trust. More than we doubt, we sit with the young, not to teach, but to learn. We listen, not to reply, but to understand. We become safe places, living prayers, walking grace. We are not fading, we are ripening, not diminishing, but becoming our fullest selves. We are not at the end, we are at the essence, the core, the light. And from here we shine not to be seen, but to guide, to warm, to awaken others to their own golden nature. Because in the end, what makes these years golden is not what we do, but how we love, not what we hold, but what we let go, not what we chase, but what we welcome. We become peace, we become joy. We become love in its purest form, and in doing so, we leave behind something eternal, not a name, not a monument, but a feeling, a vibration, a light that continues long after we are gone. We live not just to survive, but to sanctify, to make every breath, every word, every smile, a sacred act, a golden note in the symphony of life. And that is what makes the final years truly golden. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories and life-changing insights. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment that could inspire your journey. Your support means everything. Thank you for being part of this community.